Can you imagine how the world would react if Steph Curry vanished from the face of the earth? What if LeBron decided to retire and was never seen nor heard from ever again? The thought is unfathomable. How is it possible for an NBA champion, someone who's performed on the highest stage of basketball and actually won, to just disappear? You might think it's impossible. And in today's all-access age, where we see everything from what nightclub players frequent to their go-to breakfast, the thought of one of them going missing is absurd. But it wasn't always like this. And you might not have known it, but most of you watching this video were actually alive when a former lottery pick and someone who played alongside the man who many considered to be the GOAT up and disappeared. I'm Frank Smith, and this is the tragic tale of a man named Bison, the Bulls center whose bright star was cut short at just 33 years of age. A ClutchPoints original mini-documentary. Before we get into the story of Dele's disappearance, it's important to know more about the man himself. He was born with the name Brian Williams to a jazz-singing father and a teenage mother in Fresno, California. He grew to an impressive height of 6'10", but sports was the last thing on his mind. Dele was more interested in the arts, reading poetry, playing jazz, and critiquing films, not shooting a ball through a hoop. But his height and athleticism meant he was destined for the league. He didn't play basketball until the 10th grade, but improved so rapidly he ended up being drafted 10th overall in the 1991 draft. Basketball never seemed to be Dele's true passion, but you wouldn't know it by the numbers he put up. By his 5th year in the league, he was an absolute force down low, averaging nearly 16-8 for the Nuggets. The Bulls were impressed and scooped him up as a free agent. Dele's new teammates were enamored with the gentle giant. MJ spotted his potential immediately, befriended him, and worked with him in the offseason to get in shape. In 1997, Steve Kerr called him the most physically gifted player I ever saw and insisted the Bulls would not have won the chip without him. But even winning a championship couldn't keep Dele in the league for long. Just 2 years after being crowned a world champion, he would walk away from the monster contract the Pistons had signed him to. In total, Dele lost $36 million in pursuit of happiness that he never truly found in the NBA. The world was shocked. Why would a man walk away from a guaranteed fortune, especially as he was just hitting his prime? But the move didn't come as a surprise to Dele's friends and teammates. The general consensus was summed up by a former Nuggets media director who claimed Dele was an athlete first, but he had an artist's heart. Dele's circle knew it was time that he commit to his passion. He returned to playing music, traveling the world in his boat named Hakuna Matata, and earning his pilot's license. Heartbreakingly, on one of these travels, he never returned. Dele would embark on the last trip of his life on July 6, 2002. Along with his brother, his girlfriend, and a skipper, the quartet sailed to Tahiti. What happened next is unclear, and we will never know the truth of what exactly happened on his final journey. Dele's brother, Miles DeBoard, who had dealt with depression and alcoholism his whole life, was the only one who walked off the boat alive on July 20th. DeBoard would go on to forge Dele's signature to buy over $100,000 worth of gold. When authorities questioned DeBoard in the purchase, he claimed he was buying it for Dele, who had not been seen for over a week at this point. Inexplicably, DeBoard was not held in custody. The next time authorities would catch up with him, it would be in Mexico, months after his brother's disappearance. By that time, it was too late. DeBoard was found on the beach in Mexico, unresponsive, after intentionally overdosing on insulin. With DeBoard died any hope of getting an in-person explanation of Bison Dele's last moments. Because of this, the world was forced to theorize on how we lost one of the most fascinating basketball players of our time. There are several theories on what happened on that fateful day on the Hakuna Matata. DeBoard's girlfriend claimed that DeBoard told her that this is how it went down. Dele, while arguing with DeBoard, had accidentally struck Serena Carlin, Dele's girlfriend. Carlin hit her head on the boat and died instantly. The skipper insisted the group go to the authorities, which resulted in Dele shooting him. In self-defense, DeBoard had shot Dele. While this is the only account of the events, it is vigorously denied by Dele's friends and family, and forensic reports discredit it as well. Dele striking someone in anger does not fit the profile of a man who is consistently described as a gentle giant and a peaceful soul. An FBI agent who worked the case claimed it is much more likely that DeBoard forced the trio into the water and then left them in the Tahiti Ocean as he sailed off. Regardless of the details, we are left with a sorrowful outcome. None of the bodies were recovered. Dele's presumed death date is July 7th, 2002, at the age of 33. He might be gone, but Bison Dele's memory will live on through the thousands of lives he touched in the NBA arenas and his worldly travels. Thank you all for watching, and thank you to the stellar team at ClutchPoints who produced this. And you can follow ClutchPoints at ClutchPoints. For more mini documentaries, head to our ClutchPoints Facebook, YouTube, or IGTV. Until next time.